Hi guys, my name is Mark, and as I promised, there will be no full-size keyboards reviews on this channel. Let's go. So guys, now you ask yourself, what is this guy talking about? This was a full-size keyboard. For some of you who are maybe here since the start, or since a little bit longer, or since my first tries, or in general reviews of keyboards, I were talking about that I not want to review bigger keyboards than 65s or maybe sometimes TKLs, but I never wanted to review a full-size keyboard. But this time, basically, it happened, or it happens right now here with you. I'm reviewing my first full-size keyboard. That's basically the WOOTING 2 HE or HE or HE or HE or whatever you want to call it, bro. What is it? It is a full-size keyboard made from Dutch or from a producer from the Netherlands. They've done a lot of homework already. They already produced some keyboards. They were the WOOTING 1 and the 2. And honestly, basically I heard a lot of not so good stuff about the WOOTING 1 a little bit over a year ago by some friends of mine, and one who was also a first order or Kickstart order or something like that, and he sent it directly back because he was very disappointed. But so I was a little bit skeptical. WOOTING contacted me, or we contacted each other, and we talked about this, and I said basically I'm only interested in WOOTING in the 60 HE version, this one. This one, by the way, will come around February next year, and it will have all the benefits I will show you in this review. And I think it's very interesting, or could be very interesting for high-level enthusiast gamer in any esport title, or even for people who are streamer and are very about their performance and what type of performance they show in their streams or videos. So this is very interesting in general. First, like I always do, I will show you the box, guys. They basically sent this black box to you. Looks very good, high quality, nearly no plastic. There's only the cover for the keyboard is made of plastic. Also here there's a cutout for the keyboard holder if you want to. There's a description how you can cut out here to have a keyboard holder if you want. Basically very good. Then you have like this little thing in there, the accessory pack. It has one keycap puller, one back with 4 switches, and a very good USB-C Type-C cable. It's very decent. I will show you the stuff now. That's basically the small bag which is in it. It's a reusable bag. That's the keycap puller. You can pull keycaps like this. You go here, snap. Oops. That's when I show you guys, sorry. And you basically do this, and then you have the keycap in your hand. Then there is a little bag with these Hall effect lacquer switches based on Gatron Hall effect switches with specification adjustment by WOOTING. That's these ones. So this keyboard is hot swappable basically, but only with exactly these switches. And then there is these, I'm the hacker mode, bro. Hacker man. Basically then there's this USB-C Type-C cable, which is, it's a little bit stiff to be honest, but high quality. I set this weaving around, which is mainly fitting to the available keycap sets. Yeah, it's pretty okay. It's pretty decent. It's a little bit thinner than the normal ones. That's totally okay. Pricing here is about 180 euro plus 10 euro for the keycap set. There's a different keycap set made by Blank. This one is the black mint one, and then there's also a reverse one where everything which is black now is mint then, and what is mint here is black. And then there's a totally black one also. They only cost 10 euro, by the way, and they're double shot PBT. That's pretty decent price. Double shot PBT, full keycap set, 10 euro. Guys, nothing. That's in total, the end price will be 194 euro and 95 cent. That's totally okay for a full-size keyboard of this quality. We make a little comparison now to the almighty, all famous, most shitty Hall Effect keyboard with the biggest hype ever, the SteelSeries Apex Pro TKL. Ta-da! Here it is. As you maybe can remember, we start with the cable. The cable is basically the same Tesla uses in their new fabric they built down here in near Berlin. Elon Musk called me and asked me if he can have this cable to power up 10,000 Teslas. And I said basically, I would love to give it to you, but SteelSeries said, you can't switch it off, don't give it to anyone. So these guys from Sweden, they said, please Mark, don't give this cable to Elon Musk. I will not give it to him. It's okay, SteelSeries. By the way, I saw you put down the pictures I used in my review for the Prime Wireless, but I still have them, guys. I have them and I will show them to the world again. So let's come back to the comparison here. You can't compare these cables. This cable here is 2021, 22. This cable here is 1985 from a vacuum cleaner. Then we just come to the build quality in general. My cat, by the way, is here for the lecker switches, called lecker lecker. Here, this one, lecker lecker. But let's compare it now. As you can see, first thing is that the Apex Pro was a TKL keyboard. We just start with the side view. Basically, just how the keyboard lays down on the desk and how it feels when you play it. The WOOTING feels very flat, to be honest. Also, it looks flatter from the side. But if we put them together, yeah, it's nearly the same height than the Apex, but just by how it's made here, how the first race to the first keycaps, so to the first line on the keyboard is made, it just feels very usable, very comfortable, to be honest. That's very, very good. It also has a very, very decent RGB. It has tons of RGB functions, by the way. I think it has even more functions than the Apex board. There's so many stuff in RGB and you can sync it with Razer Aura Sync and with some other stuff. So it's very let me say it this way. It's very entertainer friendly. For all your RGB gods out there, that's a good pick, guys. It's really insane. And I think if you get some padding keycaps for it, it's even better. But yeah, let's talk about this later, maybe. We still compare them. One thing is, as I told you, we have double shot PBT keycaps for 10 euro here. And as you can remember, on the German ISO layout, they were fucking ABS trash caps. They were glitchy as fuck and they look like shit. We just by look, just how they look, totally annoying, to be honest. On both, they have an alloy plate on top. This one is a little bit brushed on the WOOTING, feels very good, feels decent, fits to the overall design and how the board how the board feels or looks like for you, just by how worthy it is, how well it is made for the price. It's pretty good. The price imagination or the feeling you get for the money you have spent on this keyboard is very good, guys. There's no way you just think like, oh god, I spent so much cash and the keyboard is so trash. It's not. It's a very good feeling for you if you have it. It's very satisfying. We go back. SteelSeries. WOOTING. WOOTING is not that loud, to be honest. I also have a better feeling with those Gatron lecker switches they have here. They are feeling a little bit better. They have like 60 centinewton force, so you need 60 centinewton to force them. That's like 5 or 10 centinewton more than I have on my Huntsman Mini V2 optical switches, red linears. It's pretty the same. Here I had the feeling like the force you need was too little to have enough control for very low actuations. For actuation set 1 of 10, it was just too low. Here was also one problem, is the actuation points you could set on the Hall effect switches were made in sets 1 to 10, not in millimeters. Was one very, very disappointing, misleading shit here. And in general, the keyboard was not what I thought about when I thought about SteelSeries from back in the days. So we bring it to an end. This one is like 40 euro. Yeah, the price is 40 euro higher than on the full-size keyboard here of Wooting. I don't know what the 60HE will cost. There's like nothing they will tell us here, but even if it's only 20 euro cheaper, it will be a safe buy, guys. I can tell you already. The quality is very, very good. Let's check further here. I think that it's enough comparison. We all know this is not good. And this here, the Wooting is the keyboard SteelSeries should have made back in the days to stay on the professional level, to stay high-end, to stay a very good manufacturer of gaming products. But for me right now, SteelSeries is just, I don't know, man. They only sell the name. There's no quality product anymore by SteelSeries. That's my opinion, guys. So let's go back to the keyboard now. As I told you already, the quality pretty decent. We talked about the build. I showed you how loud it is when I use it. I said that they have a very good cable management on the backside. You can pull off the cable. You can decide where you want the cable to go out, left side, right side. The cable here is, as I said, it's a little bit thinner than the standard cable, for example, you have on duckies or something like that. So it's if you want to use your standard rubber cable you have from your old keyboard, it may not fit here in the leadings. So in the management, just use this. It also looks very good. And I think if you have it, if it's laying down for a while, it also will get more flat, not so wavy. Yeah. The rest of the keyboard is well pretty simple, I would say. I think the real unique feature here, or the unique thing on this, is the so-called lacquer switches. They are Hall effect switches, which Wooting made together with Gatron, or the base is the Gatron Hall effect switch, and these guys from Wooting basically just communicate with them. We say we need RGB, but we need some specifications, a different force, so we need a different spring inside, we need some other features, and they just talk with each other, and then you have to take like 10 million of these switches or 100 million or whatever for one batch, so that they produce you these ones like you want them. Then you have them, and then you start producing your own keyboard with basically your own switches. That what Wooting has done here, and they made it pretty good, to be honest. As I said, those 60 centinewton linear, feeling very good. It's not tactile, not clicky. It's just linear, very good feeling. And then we also come to the real unique feature here. The adjustable actuation point with the rapid trigger, or the rapid trigger function they have made, or they have built into their keyboard. We know from SteelSeries that we can, as I said, in 10 sets we can say when we want to actuate, or when the actuation will be released by the keyboard to send a signal. Basically, you tell software that they have to set the setting on the counterpart on the PCB to this one here, to this magnetic counterpart in the switch, on which behavior. So on a voltage, or basically it's a voltage, I think, by Hall effect, which changes the state, so which releases the signal. You will set this, and by the presets they have done, they can exactly tell you it's a 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 millimeter. So you can set this in the Wooting software. You just set it. Here you say where the first point between 0.1 millimeter and 4 millimeter is when the start per key actuation will be released. So you can set exactly the point where you would like to have the first signal sent. I had set it to 1.2 millimeter. because it is pretty much the same like I have on my optical V2s here over there. And then I just tried something, which I will show you very soon. At first I just tried how it feels, basically because of the higher force you need for these lacquer switches of these 20 centinewton. It has a way better feeling than these SteelSeries Apex Pro, because it was just not good feelable for me. The feeling in general was just like the force they've needed there was like, I don't know, was the spring or whatever it was in the switches from the SteelSeries, they were not that good. But these lacquer switches, they feel very, very nice, very satisfying feeling, very controllable. So as we talked about these rapid trigger function, what is this trigger? Trigger you can compare to your gas pedal in a car, or for example to if you have an Xbox joystick or a new PlayStation gamepad, you have those trigger buttons here for the fingers, and they basically are like a gas pedal. By the motion or the way you move them into, as far as you move them, the more of the signal they send basically. For example, if you compare it to the gas pedal, it's like 10, 20, 30%, whatever, and you can also set them to just to be a button, for example. That's what you can do here too. You can just use it as a standard switch. You say you just set and say actuation point 1.2 or 2 millimeter or wherever you want it. So it's just like a linear 60 centinewton gate run switch, mechanical. That's it. But you also can do one thing. You can use the rapid trigger function. You can set it to on, like you see it here, and then you basically can use the switch like the trigger, like I told you. You can do on the fly releases and activations again. For example, you activate 1.2 millimeter and you're a little bit more in, or you stay at 1.2 millimeter, and then you go back only 0.1 millimeter and you go in 1.2 again. It will actuate again for you. So this means every time you release it more than 1.2 millimeter, you will be able to instantly actuate, so to release again after you moved 1.2 millimeter again down in the total way of 4 millimeters of the switch, which brings it to a very, very good thing, in my opinion. If you find the right setting for you here, for example 1.2 putting in or 0.6 putting in and 0.1 for release, and you activate the so-called tachyon mode, which instantly will switch off your RGB, because basically the keyboard will go like in a status, or will have like a status of overpolling or of being at the maximum what it can deliver in latency and speed and connectivity. So you just activate it. Like it says, tachyon mode optimizes your keyboard for input speed. When enabled, every key press responds as fast as possible. And you can feel it, guys. I have Apex running here. I will go to the firing range. Give me a second. So we are on the firing range right now. And one thing I want to show you is the advantage of these lacquer switches with the so-called rapid trigger. There are different things you would be use them or can use them in different games. For example, for strafe jumping, bunny hopping, for here in this game for so-called tap strafing. There are many, many options where key pressing and releasing in a type of rhythm, or in under some circumstances like release every other button and then press, for example, the W and space button at the same time to do a move, is very, very important in timing. This can be done very easily with this keyboard because of this rapid trigger function of this fast release you can set to 0.1 millimeter. Also, for example, if you do super gliding here, when you go up a straight edge and you are on the edge and you press duck and space, so you duck down and space at the same time, you will just like get forced in front. It's so called super glide. You can basically do it in Apex on every straight wall. If you come on the edge of, you just press space and duck and you get like shoot it a little bit in the front, so you glide there. It's like a little boost. But basically another thing, basically for every game or for you in general, is like the ability to make very, very, very small movements and corrections. For example, very fast direction changes or duck spamming. I don't know if you can see this, it's very, very fast. And I set the actuation now to 1.2 millimeter and the release to 0.1 millimeter, which basically gives me the ability on when I'm in a close fight in Apex. I normally do this because I want people to get distracted that I'm going to duck or to crouch, but I don't want to crouch because I just want to hold a unknown or unspecified angle or crouch type, or that it looked like I'm crouching, so he's distracted by aiming on me, but I have an advantage because he's not doing it, because he's just standing. And that's one thing, is that I can control very good where I am in the motion or in the animation of crouching. I can control it very good with this. And when I, for example, on the fly change it to 0.1 to 0.1, I will save it now and go in again. It's even faster. It's just super fast. It's like directly releasing again, and you can, when you touch then accidentally Q or something, it will directly release. But you can do this very easy again. And for example, if you peek a corner where you don't see the enemy, and you just want to check it a little bit with those fast triggers and with the fast release points, you are able to hold peek corners and to crosshair place and to switch the angle of the spot or of the corner you wanna spectate, or where you wait for the enemy, can be done very, very smooth. And by the short release time, you can do very, 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 very small movements. That's super small, super fast movements, guys. That's like, it's super small. And if you, for example, want to try this with a normal keyboard, with a just standard keyboard with standard Cherry MX mechanical switches, it's nearly impossible, because the total send time will be, with the debounce, around about 3 milliseconds of signal sending. So the movement in general will be way longer. I can try to simulate this for you. I need to put both off. Need to save it. Yeah, it is. And now they are moving, or the move in general is way faster. After I release it, after I release the button, when the Terrier mode is off and when the trigger, so the rapid trigger, is also off, it is like the release time, or the time it takes after he stops the moving, is way, way, way longer. So the way he goes to the right or left or front or wherever in the game will be longer, because just of the input time, of the signal time in general. That's also one very big advantage of this stuff here. I really like it. There's a lot of stuff you can play around here, so there's a lot of possibilities you can do. I think there, for some Fortnite guys or whatever, in whatever games, there will be a lot of solutions, of people who are playing MOBAs or StarCraft or whatever, will find a lot of ways to make macros out of this, with this, to rapid release something. I have no clue, guys. I never done something like this, to be honest, but this looks like the perfect opportunity to me to make something really fast in a really short term of time with a keyboard which is really capable to finally do what you ever have dreamed of in any game. And I think, yeah, that's it. Price is good, quality is awesome, €10 for double shot PBT keycaps on it. I don't think there's anything you want more when you think about this type of switches. And just to compare them, or just to give you a small hint, if you have a normal mechanical silver switch, for example, on a keyboard which has 8000 Hertz, it will still be not as fast as this keyboard here with 1.2 milliseconds. The reason is the high debounce of a normal mechanical switch by the actuation point and the release point is round about 8 milliseconds. Sometimes it's 6 when it's good made, but basically the total time it takes after the signal gets sent and the switch gets released again and the signal is not sent anymore to a system is so long, the debounce is so long, the time in between sending the new signal is so long that if you compare it to this one, you think like this keyboard is an 18-year-old 8-lead and the other keyboard then is kind of a 60-year-old guy who's a little bit slow in reaction. Just to give you a feeling or a comparison so that you can better understand it. That's basically all about this. The unique feature are these awesome lacquer switches. As they say here in the picture, on very bad keyboards, to be honest, it's true that the total milliseconds of the input in speed should be around 20 to 22 milliseconds. And these guys here are able to do this in under 2 milliseconds for sure. And you can feel it when you do the right settings. You can feel that your signal gets sent very fast. I'm very satisfied, or I hope this keyboard will please become before February, to be honest, because I'm a little bit hyped. I just want to really play it long term. And I have a lot of different other stuff here. I have, for example, optical red low profile keyboards here. They are also very fast, but when you release them, it feels like it takes ages. It's like you still press the button and the guy, your agent in the game is still moving to the right side, but your finger is not even more on the plastic, you know. That's one thing which is very disappointing for me, for example, on this one. Also, I have the Huntsman Mini here, which is my main with those optical reds. They are very good, but to be honest, the real feature is only in the TKLs and full size now. These 2, 4 or 8,000 Hertz polling, which would make this keyboard even more insane. But this is also very interesting for competitive use, in my opinion, or for enthusiasts. Awesome keyboard, great quality, great switches, very cheap double shot PBT caps in a high quality. I think they're available very soon. Software is very awesome, guys. It has a lot of features, different color schemes, language, keyboard settings. You can use Razor Chroma. You can also deactivate NK rollover. It has the NK rollover. You can also use it with a controller or without. I choose without. The problem is, what I think is that these the software or the way they do it basically are kind of controller style with the release. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's pretty good keyboard. In general, everything is very good, guys. Awesome keyboard, very good price, very good switches, 1 million click lifespan. I don't know, guys, can't tell you anymore. I'm very surprised about the quality, the pricing, about the features, about the software, and I'm glad these people have own ideas and doing own products and designing stuff, something new for the market, for enthusiasts, for people who are interested in discover new opportunities, new ways to play, to perform better just by good hardware, good keyboards, good mice. Thanks, guys at Wooting, for doing this, and thank you everyone who's watching until this point right now. It's over 25 minutes for sure now. I'm not very sure, as you guys know, I do this unscripted all the time and sometimes it takes very long because I have a lot of shit to talk about. And yeah, if you have any questions, put it down in the comments below, guys. Thanks for watching so far. We'll see us on the next review. Bye bye.